So Professor Xiaohong Wan is a professor in State Key Lab of Cognitive Neuroscience and Learning, and an investigator in IDG McGovern Institute for the Brain Research at Beijing Normal University. As a cognitive neuroscientist, he works on neuromechanisms of decision-making and cognitive control. He also recently explores the computational models and algorithms underlying these neural processes, with hopes to acquire some insights for artificial intelligence. Today, Professor Wang will share a very interesting talk on interpretability, responsibility, and controllability of human behaviors. Okay, let's welcome Professor Wang.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All organizers invited me for this very exciting symposium, and to so many these experienced people to come together. So yeah, today I will share some it's some kind of experience for my study, or the for the human beings behaviors other than the AIs. So I would like to excite the AI people to have some to give some hints or thoughts about this relationship of the human behaviors.
Okay, Professor Wan, did you share your screen?
Oh, I'm sharing the screen. You cannot see?
I cannot see the screen. Can you see?
Okay,
the screen?
Okay, sorry. I will show again.
Okay.
So can you see?
Yes, we can see now. Okay, great.
Okay. So now, okay. Okay. So first, I would say that in our human society, the one key things and one key basis for this is assume that our human beings are rational. And this is okay. So like yeah, I cited these words here. The difference between the reason of man and the instinct of the beast is this, that the beast does but know, but the man knows that he knows. Okay, so in the all kinds of the domains of the human society, includes the economy, law, or the politics. I think in the morning session, that Professor Go has talked about the law issues, but I'm not the social scientist. So I'm take this view from the neuroscientist. So today I will not give some very full review about these the topics. I will give some examples. The first example is a tragic story.
Professor, sorry. Did you go into the full screen mode? Now we are seeing the first slide and also the other slides snippet.
Okay.
Maybe you can.
No, you sorry, you cannot see the full screen.
Yeah. Oh, we can see. Yeah, we can see the other slides also.
You may share the screen.
I think I already shared, but okay, maybe. Okay, this is some from my windows. I can see I'm share my screen. Oh, okay, I'm share my. I can share the. Sorry, I can only show this the windows, cannot show the total. So
I think it's okay. Maybe we can just, yeah.
okay, I will
maybe
not go to
second.
the big one. Yeah, okay. Okay, so by this you can see you can see the slide now.
Yeah, we can see the move.
Okay. So this is a tragic story, but that really happened in 2008. This British man is he's blind Thomas. So he takes vacation with his wife, his loved wife, and in the midnight he struck his wife because he has a terrible nightmare. This and he was accused by by the police. But the result is turned out that he has such kind of psychiatric problem, and that night he forgot to take the medicine, so he was freed. He was freed, and had no penalty for his behavior. So here's the shows this story told us that his situation is like during his sleep, he is completely out of control, and he just so-called, we call this automatism. So automatism implies that this man had no control over his action, that he acts like a long machines. So from this story, we can get some implications that is responsibility entails controllability, but not interpretability. So, but as a neuroscientist, we always interpret how the brain works and what's the relationship between the brain activity and the behaviors, and to understand the causality between this brain activity and the behaviors. So we very use a lot of fancy tools to investigate the brain mechanism from the very detailed molecular level to the synapse and the neural circuits, and even to the larger scales of the brain. And also we do something that we want to decode the information that inside the brain, and we want to know how they're thinking and what they would like to talk, and also we want to use some tools to intervene their brains and to see what happened to what the change about their behaviors. So it's not mean that if we can understand the mechanism and this we then we then know this what their controllability of as I mentioned in the previous story. So here I give an example how we do in neuroscience. These are the very classical examples to study the decision making field. So in the human and even in the animals, I mean in the monkeys, we have the very similar visual systems. So in one area, they're very sensitive to the motion direction. Even for the human or for the monkey, you will be moving something back towards the one particular direction. This neuron will fire large, but if we move on the other direction, they will not fire. So it's not only this neuron not only selected for one particular direction, they're also sensitive to the coherence move. So show the example here. If the movement towards the same direction is much, then the neuron fire more. Show example here. So in 1990s, the people tried to understand, okay, what happened for this neuron and related to the behaviors. And here shows some examples of during the recording of the neural activity. I think this open bar is indicated the neuron is fire rate of these neurons, and the black bar is indicated when when the nothing show, I mean, this moving bar is not show. So you can see that their difference increase with this coherence moving dots. Okay, so use a psychometric function like Dr. David showed before, that we can construct a so-called ROC curves, and we can then measure their sensitivity, how they change with this strength of the stimulus. So, and also we can compare this one particular neurons, their behavior, and also this animal or this subject behaviors like shown here. So sometimes the one single neurons, their behavior is very similar as the toward the human or animals behaviors. But sometimes even much better than this the humans' behaviors. So this shows some relationship between the neural activity and their behavior, and also we can use some tools to interpret this brain activity and to see the causality between this neural activity and the behaviors. And the exact show here is when use microstimulation, use electric microstimulation on these areas, we can see the animal's behavior is totally changed. They shift their perception, and this is very stable. So this is one particular example to show the relationship and the causality between the neural activity and their behaviors, and to indicate the human behavior or the animal behavior can be interpreted. So, but as I showed the previous example, most and many of the human behaviors actually is so-called is automatic, and actually the previous study in from the psychologist like Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Economic Prize in 2001. So in his study and his college study, they found a lot of examples to show that. So for the human behaviors, we always have the two types, two categories of the behaviors. One is so-called is fast, and the other is slower. And recently, Daniel Kahneman also worked with AI people and to push these ideas to incorporate in the AI models. So for the system one, it's fast and it's unconscious and it's automatic, of course. But the problem is the error prone. In the system two, it's slow and conscious, but it takes effort to do that. But also it's reliable. So these two systems, and from the neuroscience studies show that it's completely two different neural systems to charge these two behavior, two kinds of behaviors. Actually, so in the neural image study, it already shows that when we practice some activity or some task in some domains, we always become better. And I mean, this reaction time will become shorter, and the performance will increase to some levels. And you look at the brain activity, you can see that after training or after practice, this activity in the prefrontal cortex will move to some very previous not associated with this kind of task. Like here, the shift to the cerebellum, and this actually is a verbal generation task. Okay, and you can see the very dramatically change from the system 2 to system 1. And again, and if you show a lower task again, is very similar task, but is not familiar with this for this subject. You can see the activity appear again in the system too. So these have been repeated tests for the other tasks. Okay. So in our previous study, we also showed it's not only for the simple practice, even for the professional, for the experts in the like here shows the example in the Japanese chess player. So when they're doing the very quick decision making, and their performance is actually very, very good. It's close to the 70% of the by their intuition, like only 1 second to think about the next move. So we found that the crucial difference between the professional and amateurs is inside of the brain, the so-called caudal nucleus, and this is also, we believe this is related to the transition or shift from the system 2 to system 1. And when they're doing the intuitive thinking, this the move to some very old brain structure that will become unconscious and very fast. So what happened? So how this happened? This change from system 2 to system 1. I think this is associated with the neural circuit when they learn something. This is called associated learning to form this habit or intuition. So one kind of the learning mechanism is so-called habit learning. That is a file together and a wire together. When the input and output always come together by accident or anyway by frequency, like showed here, the input to the synapse will be their efficiency will become stronger, and then this output from this input will become efficient. And this mechanism actually has been borrowed from this neuroscience finding to AI and also machine learning. And another kind of this social learning is reinforcement learning. So in 1997 or like that times, the people found that the dopamine neurons, they can predict the reward, and when some prediction error happen, they will also encode in this prediction error and then reinforce this the neural system to make a precise prediction again. So this step by step, they can make a very quick prediction, and this prediction will drive very quick response or actions. So by this associated learning, they will just form the, like we call this habits, intuition, or heuristics, as shown the Daniel Kahneman shows in the human behaviors. So this associated learning, this also by this associated learning, then the human behavior become automatic. But however, there exists some spectacular correlations that not necessarily just causality. So this is why we use the intuition or we use the heuristic to make a decision or action or do some action will cause some problem or cause some errors. So again, we also found, okay, even in the initial decision, we really rely on our intuitive thinking. I mean, this is the system 1. But after this fast and unconscious decision, because when you ask the subject to report how to make this decision, they cannot make an explanation. Okay. But however, we found after the decision, we can see a lot of prefrontal cortex, like shows this yellow blockers, these regions appears after this the fast decision. And these two systems, they are not overlap with each other. And again, we found these yellow brain regions, they actually become stronger when they feel the previous decision, I mean, this intuitive decision is more uncertain. So actually, they are monitored this intuitive and unconscious decision by system 1. So then we propose that it's okay. Other than the system 1 and the system 2, there's just seems like exists another system we call it the meta system. They can monitor either system 1 and the system 2, and then they will give the feedback, okay, to control the system 2 to make further and to revise this decision. And we know that the system 1 is we said is unconscious and it's automatic. This is kind of the artificial neural network, this black box, this inexplainability. And also system 2, we can give some partial explanation. But for this meta system, this retrospective, because this after decision, they can monitor this to report how was the decision is good or not. And here is we call this post-hoc, or the previous study shows this post-hoc explanation of our behaviors. So the second reason why when we make some report to try to explain our behavior, some mismatch between the really happened and what's explainable. So because the neural system is dynamics, so it's shown here. So if you go to the very details of the neural circuit, you can see that the interaction between neural is very, very dynamic. So this will drive this system. Will go with the time, will change. Okay, because when you look at this example, so at the time t, so this, for example, this really decision making happens. But when you look at how to explain this behavior, this brain activity, brain state is go to the time 2, and now the brain state is completely different when they make decision. So this will cause. So when we look at the explanation, we see a lot of the confirmation bias, Plamis effect, and the license effects to try when their effects on the human behaviors. Okay. And just okay, the third example, okay, it shows that this the our brain actually is the information is the manifold of all the neural information actually is difficult to disentangle. Okay. Okay, so here the traditional view of the our brain system is hierarchic. Okay, from the primary sensory cortex, they encoding very simple attributes, and they integrate in the associated cortex and go forward to the prefrontal cortex, to the abstract rules or concepts, and even for the anterior prefrontal cortex, we get more abstract this strategy or something else, and then we generate the outcome. Okay. But actually, this not necessarily always happen in the brain. Like show example here. So here the monkey do some dual task. Just for context dependent dual task. Okay. The stimulus has 2 features. One is the motion direction, as shown the previous examples. So the doors moving to the left or right, but it's quite noise. And another feature is color. Okay, this is the blue or is red doors. So the animal should decide. So is for particular trials is to decide the motion direction or is it decided to more motion colors, depending on the cue. Okay, the task cue. So here's completely context dependent. Okay, the animal do quite well when they're required to make the to judge the motion direction, they do well, and the separation the color context and vice versa. So for the classical view, so when we look like here, so the attention system will filter out of the irrelevant information. Okay, and this only relevant information we are getting into the prefrontal prefrontal cortex to make some judgment or make some decision. But here it shows that that is not happening in the prefrontal cortex. Actually, in the prefrontal cortex neurons, all the information was there. You can see here the trajectory of this depending on the decision-making course. But the only difference is depend on the context. So when is the motion direction, so they will along the different decision axis here, this so-called the choice axis, and then we'll disentangle this neural representation in the prefrontal cortex. And when change to another context, I mean the motion color, and this the choice axis will revolve and then rotate to another angles, and then they can do another decision making. So here's so when you do some decision making, you have to disentangle this neural activity information in the brain, and actually when you finish this information maybe still keep there, but the brain state is completely different. So here the insight from this example is okay. So first of all, is many processes in human are automatic and black box. And most of these automatic processes can be monitored by the high order neural system, so it's by the metacognition. And then number two, the post-hoc expression of neural processes are divided from the original because this due to the dynamics of neural circuit. So we can as a human being, they form the false memories, illusions, cognitive bias. A lot of the heuristic or cognitive bias happen in our behaviors. And then number three, the high-dimensional neural representation are difficult. Sorry, it's not so difficult. Are disentangled when the goal is driven, but not separated and highlighted. Okay, so this is very like a transformer. So we need a promise for our task to disentangle these high-dimensional neural representations inside our brains. So give some. So I think because I'm not the AI people, but I'm very interested about this AI tendency, how to treat this problem. So I think this somewhere this is very similar to the human brain activation or human brain behaviors. Okay, one is suggests the query-based recognition and reason. So it's like, okay, if you know somebody what they're thinking, you are not only ask one question, you're continuous ask several questions, and then by this step by step, this the code is a visual recognition by request or pixel level semantic recognition. So by this, you can keep all the information from this AIC system. Okay, in the same way, like this Song Chun-Zhu, the groups, they also do some architecture that is called explainable AI with this city of mind. Okay, so here has also proposed in the very similar way they use called the bubble games. Okay, just you continuously ask the question, what the things indicate what means. Okay, by this to align the human and AIs. Okay, so as I said, because the brain activity is very, very dynamic, and you try to ask the people what they are thinking. Actually, this is the post-hoc explanation. If you want to know what happened during this, they make this decision making, you should record their brain activity online. And I think this is the BCI, so the brain computer interface supported human AI hybrid incorporation might be a nice way to do some the alignment with the human and the robots. And I think this will give some very, very interesting direction to make a bridge between the neuroscience and AIs. Okay, thank you for your attention. And I think I stop here. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor Wang, for the wonderful talk. I especially like slide 14 on providing insights from neuroscience. The detailed introduction on human decision-making can really help us find better insights on improving machine learning models. So let us take one question from the audience. Please raise your hand or directly unmute yourself and ask question, okay? Okay, yeah, Professor Liao, you can unmute.
Okay, thanks for Professor Wang's very great perspective from the neuroscience. And I also have some connection with Professor Liu Chao from Beijing Normal University. So I'm wondering, there's a very interesting topic, question about maybe neuroscience and AI. There are some research about the crime. So is there some way to explain the crime of passion? Because recent years for the COVID-19 and the economic decision, so there are some you know, the mind changed, a lot of things changed. So is there some from your perspective, is there some way to learn the crime of passion? Is 激情犯罪?
Okay, actually, it's interesting, but it's a complex question. Yes, I think this quite a big issue. So I think as I said here. And also I agree with Zhou Shengquan's the perspective. So it's really to the AI should be know the human what they're thinking as a so-called self mind. Okay, and this mind is really difficult to reveal by even by himself or by the other people when we observe their behaviors. But if there's some AI system, they can build up such kind of the model, they can learning some particular persons their self mind. I think they can do such way, like if the AI can predict what the person is thinking and what is his intention and so on. I think this can be is very serious issues for the AIs. Yes, but I don't know how to do that way. Yeah, even for the human being is even we said we can do that as a human being, but we as a neuroscientist really don't understand what happened and how as a human can understand the other people's thinking. So I don't know. I think
thanks for your nice guidance. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Professor
question.
Wang. Yeah. Also, thank you, Professor Liao, for your question.